Hey, it's Lynn Brown. Welcome to the Gritty Women Global Podcast. I'm a results coach. So let me just give you the 60-second version of how I got here. The first half of my life, I spent caught in the comparison trap. And then in my spare time, I was obsessed with the opinions of others. And then one day I just took a step, just one step in the direction of my dreams. Now, I didn't say I had it all figured out at that point, because I didn't, and I still don't, but it was that day that things began to change. Now, if you're in search of this perfect Pretty People podcast, this is not the one for you. This is more like the Gritty People podcast. Today we're going to talk about the power of slowing down. And that is so rich coming from me, as I've often described myself like a rat on acid, just in the constant state of hurry. And this is no lie. The other day I was reading and studying a book on the hurried life. It was an Audible book. Of course, I was working out and listened to the book at the same time, to get the most done. And I actually doubled the speed so I could make better time, get through the book quicker. Thank goodness I was aware that I had done this. And when I realized what I'd done, I literally laughed out loud. I mean, that's some funny stuff right there. I mean, how... I should give you all hope. See, I really am a work in progress. I never knew there was really a diagnosis of a sickness for hurry. It's called the hurried sickness. A doctor by the name of Freeman discovered this in the 50s. And I think that's so ironic because in the 50s, that's what we hear our parents, always saying, and people that are older than us saying, oh, those were the good old days, the days that you sat on the porch and talked to your neighbor and all that kind of stuff. But it was in that period of time that he discovered that his cardiovascular patients all had this heightened sense of hurry. They were cramming as much as possible in the smallest amounts of time. So maybe you're like, well, I don't fall into that category. Okay, well, good. I'm glad you don't. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever switched the lines in the grocery store because the other line seemed faster? Or maybe if you're anything like me, you find it difficult to do nothing. And when I mean nothing, I mean nothing. Scrolling is not doing nothing. Scrolling is not resting. Can you sit without your digital jolt of caffeine? No scrolling. Just doing nothing. They say that there are people that actually hit their phone 2,000 times a day. Now, I know you don't do that, but maybe you know somebody that does. Haha. Do you ever feel like you're just moving from drama to drama? What about your sleep? How's your sleep pattern? I think it's so interesting, though, when we find ourselves in the rat race, we're stressed and tired. We don't have the energy and focus to do the very things that we know can fill us back up. Because I really believe we know what to do. It's not that we don't know what to do. It's just that we're not willing to do it. Have you ever said, there just isn't enough time in the day? I wish I had more time. The first things that get shoved to the side usually when we find ourselves in the rat race are the very things that we need to refuel our souls. It's almost like you just build up this resistance to even the thought of quiet. Like you wouldn't even know what to do with yourself if you found yourself in a quiet time. But quiet time and meditation, whatever you prefer to call it, practicing gratitude, maybe slowing down enough to call a friend, not just text a friend, to really enjoy a meal rather than just cramming something in your mouth on the go. Y'all, we all have the same amount of time in the day. It's really not about the time. It's about our focus. And I know this is not like the most exciting, topic. It's just not. But it's necessary. Netflix, long hours at work, Chunky Monkey ice cream, Pinot Grigio, Instagram, whatever. These are not a replacement for rest. And certainly don't bring restoration. Now, I'm not saying cut all those things out of your life. I'm not saying that. There's nothing wrong with those things as long as you're also creating time for rest. 39% of people are reporting feeling more anxious this year than they did this time last year. Now, I'm a person of faith, and I grew up in the church, and I always heard this: where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And I'm sure some of you know exactly where that is in the Bible, but again, I'm not a Bible scholar. I don't know where everything is in the Bible, but I love Jesus. So, but again, where your treasure is, there will be your heart also. And honestly, sometimes I heard it so much, I wouldn't even listen to the words, and I rolled my eyes and closed my ears until the noise and the chaos was so much louder than even the verse. It was so much louder than anything that I had ever experienced. I no longer had a choice. And I guess really riding in the ambulance that day in April suddenly made everything slow down. I was slowed down. It was quiet. Even though we were traveling like about 95 miles an hour, it felt like everything was slowing down. And sometimes, they say slow is faster sometimes. And that was a perfect example that day. I never forgot, that feeling of, okay, we're about to slow things down here. Now, trust me, I don't recommend that is your wake-up call. I really don't. But I just want you to be aware, and I want you to, whatever you're giving your attention to right now, whatever you are focused on and giving your most attention to right now is what is shaping you. I mean, results don't lie. What we're doing daily is giving us the results that we're getting. But the great news is, it's just like we've said before, is that you can change. You're not a tree. You can move from where you are. You can be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I love that. That's my favorite verse. Y'all know that. But it's about shedding the old and putting on the new. And I can't think of a better time than today to begin that. I mean, the journey of 1,000 steps begin with the first step. And so it's not even the knowledge of the Bible. So you say, oh, I just wish I knew more about the Bible. Maybe I would understand it. It's not that. It's not your intellect. It's not how much you know and all the things that you accomplish that are going to bring you this freedom from hurry. It is the attention and the time that you give to Him, your Creator. The relationship you build with Him. Now, don't worry. I'm not saying you're going to have to spend 5 hours a day or it's got to be done in the morning, first thing in the morning. There are no rules here. You do you. That's what the Y in gritty stands for. You do you. God's around 24/7, so He's always available and He's ready. He's ready. When you knock, He's ready. He's there. So thinking into your day, where could you create a little bit of time to begin this practice of quiet, of calm, of rest? I had to create my time with Him out of necessity. I mean, I was truly up against a wall. I don't want that for you. I mean, I had called my friend just in a panic almost, really. And I was like, you got to help me. I'm up against a wall like I'd never been up against before. And she calmly and slowly just suggested that I begin every day with this practice of writing gratitude. And again, I thought it was kind of cheesy. I thought it was like too simple. I was like, surely you got more than this. Is this all you got for me? She was like, yeah, just do it. Just do it. Do it for 30 days straight without missing a day. So I was desperate and I did. I took that step and I began to create that habit of writing daily gratitude. And when I got to day 30, I didn't stop. And at that same time, it was 5 years ago, I picked up one of those Jesus Calling devotions. It was short. That's why I liked it. It was short and simple. And I began that practice, daily practice. And those two habits, I cannot tell you how many positive habits have resulted from those two simple steps. I mean, there's discipline in my life now. And I haven't mastered in all areas. Trust me. But this podcast is even a result today of discipline. I mean, episode 93. Up until 5 years ago, the only constant in my life was anxiety, chocolate chip cookie dough, drama, alcohol, debt. The list goes on. I was on a coaching call recently with a client, and she was just kept saying, I don't know what to do. She was totally unaware of the cycle that she had created. She was like, I just don't know what to do next. She couldn't see what she couldn't see, and so I challenged her. This one simple step. I was like, I'm gonna give you a challenge. Are you open for a challenge? She said, yeah. So I said, just set your alarm for 15 minutes earlier each day, and just begin to create a quiet space. Instead of hitting snooze 10 times and just spilling your coffee as you're racing out the door, probably yelling at somebody, the dog or your kids or whoever. But just start with 15. And if 15 minutes seems outrageous, start with 5. You know what? If 5 sounds like too much to start with 1. But just begin. Trust me, you're going to like this time. You become what you give your attention to. And y'all, I know you know this, and nobody likes to be told anything. We don't like to be told or taught. But the relentless pursuit of the scroll, you know the scroll that even children that are a year old are already tuned into. But the scroll will never replenish your soul. It's just not going to. And maybe there's something deep inside of you that you're not aware of yet that is causing you to run this speed. This, why the need for speed? Maybe you need to think about that. And maybe that's not you. Maybe you totally know you're not running from anything. Well, what are you running towards? Is it promotion? Is it more? Is it more of something? You are so much more than any promotion, any sales goal, any attention that you can get on social media. You're just so much more than that. Another way of looking at it is like this. I have this closet that's just overflowing with Christmas decorations. I love Christmas, and I just have too much of it. I know I do, but I can hardly close the door. But I said the other day, I need another storage room. And why do I need another storage room? So I can cram another closet full of stuff that I don't need? Another storage closet is not the solution. Just like more time in the day is not the solution. I was in such a hurry to cram all that stuff back in the closet. I paid no attention to how I did it. I just did it. I was trying to do it as fast as I could so I could get to the next thing and cram as much in as possible and still be able to shut the door. And you know what? Most people are living their life just like this, cramming in as much as possible in the pursuit of all the things that aren't going to bring us rest, having just enough energy to be able to drag yourself, into the house at the end of the day and fall into bed at night and to wake up the next day and repeat it again and again and again. I believe with all my heart that we were created and designed to live on this earth with joy and peace. And I know that sounds so dreamy and sunshiny, rainbowy, unicorny, but y'all, I'm not saying that we're not going to have challenges. God knows that we are. We're going to experience those times in the valley. We're going to walk through them, but we're going to be there. But think about this. Why would God create this beautiful world and add beautiful humans to it to make us run ourselves ragged, just so we could slide safely into death at the end? No, I don't think so. I've discovered this joy, and I have refueled my joy, and it's real. And y'all, there is enough for you too. I promise you, there's enough for you. There's more than enough for you. You got to trust this process. And as we trust this process, we make progress. Bet on you. Take hold of your shield of faith and face whatever the thing is. Y'all, God is doing a new thing. And when we activate our faith, it moves us closer to God, and it moves God closer to us. There's a purpose and a call in your life, and that only you can do. Trust me. The clarity is going to come the closer you are to Him. It's time for you to rediscover you. You are a beautiful, gritty, faith-filled sister. I'm sure if you're like me, you have a favorite playlist, and those songs that you turn up so loud that make you feel like you can conquer the world. Well, you know what? Turn it up. Turn it up and sing those songs. But you know what? Also believe the words you're singing. How about that? Not only just sing those songs and say those words, but start believing them. Okay, it's time. Go ahead before you do another thing. Go ahead and set your alarm for 15 minutes earlier, starting in the morning. And y'all, if you're waiting on somebody to come for you and do it for you, it's not happening. Nobody's coming. Y'all want to know that story? If you don't, it's okay. But there was a man that lay by a pool for 38 years in the Bible, waiting for somebody to come and help him in. Begging, whining, wishing, hoping. You got to get up. You got to take back the life that God has designed for you. 2021, go after it. So here's to all of you, this Gritty Sister Squad. Go after 2021, and I'll see you next week. Now, if you're serious about this, you might want to consider our 63 Days to Gritty Mindset. It's a simple, less than 5 minutes a day for 63 days. Can't miss a day. It comes right to your inbox. It's very simple. I keep things simple. It's only $63. Okay, you can do that. I'm thinking you're worth $63. I love y'all. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.